So, what is going on, guys? Today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Generation Selects Siege, I guess I should have said that the other way, Rotor Storm. Now, this here is an odd figure as far as things go. Like I said, it's a Gen Selects figure, so it's a bit of an odd repaint. And this here is a repaint of the Spinister mold, which is probably one of the more sought-after molds from the more recent years. I say recent, but that was 5 years ago. Let that sink in. And as far as it goes with Spinister here, not Spinister, Rotor Storm, I did this when I initially reviewed him. I called him Spinister like 90% of the review. Rotor Storm. Rotor Storm. One thing to also say with this guy, I do have an upgrade kit. I got this guy off of eBay probably a couple months ago. And as far as it goes with him, he is probably one of my favorite looking figures. He was very much a splurge as far as buying a figure, because I don't care about Rotor Storm. I just thought this thing looked really, really awesome. And I do think he looks really, really cool and awesome. As far as it goes, he does have a couple things on him here, which are his accessories, which again, we will talk about. And also the upgrade kit, which included gap fillers, just to note that. And there they are down there. But as far as it goes with him, the main draw to me is the color scheme. I love this color scheme. It looks beautiful. This nice, vibrant blue with this kind of like desaturated purple. Almost, it's kind of like a gray, but it has a bit of a purple hue to it, which I like. And the pink, it just pops. It reminds me of the Miami Vice kind of color scheme, is what that would be looking like. He has this nice dark blue accent as well, this kind of midnight blue on the head and then the forearms and also on the legs. He just looks fantastic. He then also has this bit of like emerald green or like kind of sand green on the back. And it's the only place it appears. It's only there. That's the only bit of the figure that has that color, which is neat. Also, yes, on the back, he just has the rotors. That's it. They are a little bit odd. Sometimes they like to stay, sometimes they don't. It's just very picky. And as far as it goes, he does have some Autobot badges up there on the shoulders. And I mean, as far as details, it just looks great. But he is primarily Spinister, which means he has the same Spinister lag thing where it just kind of splits. He has two cockpits. We'll talk about that more in the alt form. But as far as it goes, he has the cool little lag things. He does come with two base accessories, that being Spinister's guns, which were meant to replicate his target masters, because he was a dual target master. I don't know, I was going to go with dual and then duo, and it was weird. But these things here are just the same things, but sculpted in that kind of gray color, and then the dark blue, and then also a yellow paint. This one has a bit of a messy yellow paint application. If it would focus, there it is. It's kind of a little weird, kind of a little messy. He can hold these, or you can arm mount them. Me, personally, I think they look better as arm-mounted weapons, opposed to holding them. He is supposed to hold them, but arm-mounted, I just think these things look way better. I have more of a preference to the gray one, just because it's kind of like a beanie cannon. It is obviously effect part compatible, as you can see there. The other one is also effect part compatible, but it's a minigun, so it's a little weird looking. It's a dual minigun, which is nice. And then the other thing I have is the upgrade kit, which I'm not sure exactly where this came from. I'm thinking eBay. I think I've seen it on there. These, I believe, are just 3D printed, maybe. I'm not 100 on that. But they're basically there to emulate the original figures, kind of thrusters that Rotor Storm had. And you could put these anywhere. I like to underhand them. Kind of like their thunder spears from like Attack on Titan type of thing. You know what I'm saying? But it's like underhand. It's like a big cannon. It's like an explosive. That's what I like to think of them as. Or he could use them to like blast upward type of thing, which would be kind of neat. And they just do go wherever. Like I said, you put them on the arms, put them wherever. Do what you want with them. But as far as it goes, I mean, that's the accessories. He is actually quite tall for a deluxe, just to get in a size comparison. Here he is next to the standard metric deluxe Siege Sideswipe, which, yeah, I just consider this the standard, because it is basically the box standard size. And as you can see, he is quite tall for a deluxe. He has a good, probably, head and a half over him, I'll say. as far as height. Like, look at that difference. It's quite a bit. So he is quite tall. As far as it goes, we'll also get into the articulation here, which is also quite good. He has a rotation at the head, which is on a ball joint, forward and back, outward, a swivel, a double elbow, rotation at the wrist, rotation at the waist, forward and back, outward, swivel, knee joint, which only goes that far, but if you are willing to open this panel, you can get a lot more. If you're willing to. The other side does also have a panel. One of those panels is completely useless in transformation, though. He then has forward and back at the foot, along with an inward tilt. So pretty box standard, other than the double elbows and the pretty deep knees if you want to go for those. But as far as it goes, that's basically all for the robot mode, so let's just get into the transformation. So, to transform Rotor Storm here, it is kind of intriguing. First thing we are going to do is fold these up. Now, one thing I will recommend is just do this. Just get that out of the way. Easy step. Nothing really hard about it, except sometimes the pegs don't want to go into the slots. The next thing we're going to want to do is probably the best part of this transformation, which is fold down the back. Now, once you fold down the back, that will allow you to come in here and, like, just 1 second here, there we go. It'll allow you to come in and take this whole front section, and it just kind of, like, pushes through. Now someone's like, what do you mean? It just does this, which is a crazy transformation step, in my opinion. This then folds down and pegs in there like that. You can then move those, and then probably the least favorite part, which is just the way that these go. They just kind of chill. The arms are just there. And then we have the legs. Now, this one here is the one that goes in the front. The other one, on the other hand, goes kind of in an odd way. So it goes like that. You fold it out, and then you rotate the foot down. It then pegs in. There's a tab and then a slot. And this is probably one of the more annoying steps of the transformation, if I am being honest. There we go. And the other annoying step is the panel, because you are supposed to close it. It can't just, like, stay loose. So you have to close it. The leg then will peg in like so. You're then going to open up this panel and move this foot out. This one here doesn't do what the other one does. It doesn't have to be moved. So you just kind of like fold it out to the side, fold it down, push it into place. And then it just kind of goes there. They do kind of slot into the arm a little bit. There is some tabs on the sides of the feet that go into the arms down there. So that'll just kind of keep the arms a little bit better in place. Like I said, they're basically just stuck to the side of this thing for some reason. And then you'll do that. And then this thing does have a landing gear, and I do mean a landing gear. And then you will get Rotor Storm's Alt Form. And Rotor Storm's Alt Form is one of the rare helicopter formers. We haven't had many in recent memory. I'm trying to think, and I think, is this the last one we had? Is he the last one? Actually, we got Sandstorm this year. I completely forgot about United Sandstorm. But this guy's pretty weird as far as it goes. Helicopter formers aren't as common, and I'm not going to count Grindor either, because he's just a repaint of a pre-existing figure. I guess they came... Actually, Grindor would be 2018's Blackout, so relatively older than this one. And as far as it goes, it looks nice. You can do the boosters, which apparently is the callback to the original toy. Are these backwards? Probably, because this is like the turbine end, so I'm assuming these go forward. I don't know. I actually like to put them on the hands, because if you put them on the hands, you can like rotate them out like so, which is cool. That's just a little thing if you do have that upgrade kit. The other thing you obviously can do is take the guns, and they can tab on at various points. For the most part, though, you're probably going to put them up on the feet, where there is ports, like that. I do like the nice cockpit that is silver with the pink windows. It does look good. There's some more ports up there. But the weird part of this helicopter is the whole extra cockpit on the bottom. I understand what they were doing for Spinister, because Spinister in G1, he has like a mono leg, so he just has the one that just flipped in transformation. So it made sense, but it's just such a weird execution. It's weird. One thing I will also say is I can never get this to peg in for some reason. It just never wants to, which is a shame. But everything else works perfectly fine. And as far as it goes, this does spin quite nicely. And so does this. But as far as it goes, that's basically just Rotor Storm's alt form. So let's just get to my final thoughts on Rotor Storm. And for my final thoughts on Rotor Storm, I think this figure is really, really, really good. This thing is one of those figures that is sought after now. Much like the last review that I did, which was Sideswipe from the Studio Series line. The Dark of the Moon version of it, I should mention. This figure is one of those ones that actually fetches a decent amount for a deluxe. Spinister himself is like 70, but this guy is a lot rarer than Spinister. Spinister was a typical release. This guy was a Gen Selects figure. That's one thing that you have to take into account with this guy. Meaning he's an online exclusive and/or like a GameStop type of exclusive. He is a lot rarer than your typical deluxe that you'd get at like Walmart or Target or somewhere like that, or Amazon even though this guy definitely was on Amazon, probably from third parties though. He is definitely a lot rarer than them, but this guy is just really good. I couldn't recommend him enough if you have the money, because this guy is a lot. He's like 120 to 150 last time I checked. I got him for 80, which was a pretty good deal, if I'm being honest. Like I said, he was a bit of a splurge purchase. He's just one I really wanted. I really wanted this mold, and I particularly wanted this Rotor Storm just because of the color scheme. Which Spinister pretty much also has the same color scheme, but inversed. It's pink mostly instead of the blue. But I like the nice blue and the pink as the secondary. But as far as it goes, he's a recommend. I'm going to give him a good 5 out of 5. He has no issues. Again, he does have some gaps in the legs, so if you are seeing these, yes, there's gaps there. They just have fillers in them. But as far as it goes, that's really all I have to say about the Siege Generation Select Spinister. This has been Eilt Elite signing out.